Hey there, Jerbears. I'm reviewing. Reviewing what exactly? Reviewing Animal Crossing 2.0 and the DLC it came with, Happy Home Paradise, of course. Now, this is the first ever review on this channel, and I want to explain how I'll actually be reviewing titles. I'm not going to give you a number rating or anything like that, but instead I'll just tell you why I might recommend something or why I might not. Now that that's out of the way, let's get on with the review. Animal Crossing 2.0, the saving grace of Animal Crossing to a lot of players, including myself. I mean, I'll admit it, after the Animal Crossing Direct, I actually started getting back on my island daily. That's how excited I was for this update. And when it finally happened, earlier than expected mind you, I was more than ready to spend an unhealthy amount of hours on my island. The 2.0 update itself brought a wealth of welcome additions such as Brewster, Cap'n, and my favorite addition of all, crops. There was also cooking, gyroids, Harv's Island, more furniture, more recipes, both cooking and crafting. Truly a bountiful treasure trove of new features and additions that many Animal Crossing fans have been waiting for. Alongside 2.0 was Happy Home Paradise, a paid DLC that gave players the one thing they were missing from their life away from real life. A job. A fun job, though, so I guess I can look past it. Happy Home Paradise gave players the ability to take every available special NPC and villager in New Horizons and give them their own little slice of paradise. A happy home paradise. This was honestly a really nice addition to New Horizons, and I'm glad they set it up in this way where it's genuinely huge in terms of things to do, and you might actually have to devote a lot of time to it to 100% it. Now that you hopefully have a better idea of what 2.0 and the DLC provided, it's time I give you my opinion on the content and let you know if I recommend it or not. If you're watching this just for the DLC review, since it is the only one you can actually make a choice on getting, skip to this time. If you want to listen to me ramble about the 2.0 update and the DLC in its entirety, watch on, and thanks for watching the video. The 2.0 update was a much needed update to New Horizons, especially since really the launch of the game. A lot of folks have been talking about how lacking New Horizons was in content. Now, yes, sometimes these folks would be the same folks that had 300 plus hours in the game, and realistically it's absurd to hear someone with 300 plus hours in a game talk about a lack of content, but these are usually the folks that would know if content was lacking. Usual grievances were about missing special NPCs and furniture, a lack of things to do in the game, and luckily, 2.0 alleviated a lot of that. From the first moment I heard about 2.0, I was immediately back on Animal Crossing New Horizons, which is not to say I actually left, more so I'd visit weekly rather than daily. I imagine it's like this for a lot of you guys as well. Even before the update hit, I felt myself go back to the first week of New Horizons launch, where I literally slept 4 to 6 hours a night the first week, and Jerbears, I saw the start of the new day 7 times in a row. This brings up an interesting situation. I hadn't had much forcing me back onto Animal Crossing New Horizons for a while, and surely this update was the one thing to do it, but it hadn't even hit, so why was I playing Animal Crossing so much? I guess it just comes with the type of game Animal Crossing is. It's not like The Sims, where you can just start a new file every time there's a new DLC or such out, so maybe I find it more comforting to try and get back into the groove of fishing and catching bugs and talking to my villagers again. Anyways, it's been insert time here, minutes, and I've yet to actually talk about the 2.0 update. Cap'n has been a great addition so far. No cap. He adds a fun new thing to do every day on your island. His islands can be extremely hit and miss admittedly, and the 1 island a day limitation is annoying, but I understand it completely. Some of the islands you get with Cap'n are really good, like the Star Island and islands where every rock is a money rock. Also, islands where he takes you to completely different seasons and weather so that you might actually have a chance to catch that fish or bug you missed out on a month ago, or even get that seasonal recipe you've been hoping for. Other islands? Meh. Vines and glowing moss are a really cool addition though, definitely helps spice up your island's ecosystem. Oh, and gyroids. You get gyroid fragments on these islands, which you can take home and water, and you'll find a beautiful baby gyroid the very next day. These gyroids are quite different from how they've been in the past, and they're much more expressive and have a lot more character, so I like the changes they've made. Overall, I like Cap'n. I like hearing his singing again, and I love that they let you react to his stories on the boat. I've yet to skip his songs, not because I like hearing it every time I go on an island trip, but because I can't bear to break his heart like that. Brewster, the pigeon you go to for your luncheons, and dinner-ians, and breakfast-ians. Anytime you want coffee, really, ians. The Roost makes its glorious return as part of a new museum renovation that Blathers offers. All you have to do is find Brewster on one of the Cap'n Islands, which is easy enough, so don't worry much. The Roost offers you a spot to get coffee, and if you're lucky, you may actually see special NPCs there. In my time playing with the update, I've seen Sable, KK, and Tom Nook. I haven't actually seen regular villagers go there, but if you have their amiibo, you can totally invite them for a cup and hang out with them in the Roost. Same goes for the special NPC amiibos, a really cool way to sit down and have dialogue with NPCs that don't even show up in the game. Crops and cooking was a very welcome addition because I am a big fan of the mundane, something that you Jerbears will hopefully see soon in an upcoming series of mine. The new crops added were tomatoes, potatoes, wheat, sugarcane, and carrots. These new crops offered up new recipes that you can learn and cook, which in turn would get you more of those fruit action points that you need in order to dig up whole trees and pocket them so easily. The new cooking mechanic works exactly like DIY crafting does and also utilizes existing ingredients in the game, like fish. We can finally give sea bass the treatment it deserves and put it into our freshly baked pie. The dishes you can make in the game do offer up a nice alternative to just eating fruits because all it takes is one anchovy to make sardines and oil, which gets you like 5 of those fruit action points. My character has been swimming in sardines and oil because those trees are not gonna move themselves. Finally, the last big thing I'd like to talk about is Harv's Island. I think this change in Harv's Island can shake up your weekly or even daily routine once you cough up the 700,000 bells to get everything up and running. Harv's Island will house 8 special NPCs, 9 even though Reese doesn't do much, and you'll be able to utilize their services every day, with the merchant NPCs changing their stock every Monday. I do like the way they've handled Harv's Island. It may be frustrating for Leaf or Kix to not have new items every day, but I feel it a necessary suppression. Nonetheless, it is very nice to have Tortimer, Reese and Cyrus, Katrina, and Harriet back in the game. They've got services to offer, and these services never feel like they break the game or make it all too easy. The only thing it really does is render a lot of those online furniture sellers useless, because now if you don't have a certain thing in a colorway you wanted, you can just get it done by Cyrus. Shout out Psy Guy. So, that was my review of the major things in 2.0. Since it's an update, I guess I recommend it. There's really nothing that would make me say, oh my god, this ruins the game, or anything like that. If you don't like Harv's Island or the crops and cooking, it's never shoved in your face. But if you don't like those additions, what's wrong with you? Now to get to the real meat and potatoes of this video. Happy Home Paradise. Happy Home Paradise is a very welcome addition to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I feel they handled the content of this DLC extremely well, and they've given core and casual players so much to play with. Don't correct me if I'm wrong, but I have read online that there are over 400 plus lots you can design in the game, which does make sense. There are over 400 plus villagers in New Horizons that you can design homes for, and there's also these special NPCs who you can give lots to. This offers up hours upon hours of content for all of you interior and exterior designer Jerbears, and as a fun bonus, you can help build up the Happy Home Paradise Planning Island with different buildings that make the island feel more alive. The DLC really was a pleasant surprise for me. Having never played Happy Home Designer on the 3DS, the only bits of Happy Home Designer I had interacted with was the new way they gave players to decorate their homes, but that was only because they put that into New Leaf and New Horizons. I found myself streaming the DLC because I wanted to show off the designs I'd be making, whether they were silly or spooky or just simple houses. The DLC gives you certain items with each client you work with, but these stick around with you for future builds, so over time you are growing the design possibilities you have. There's also a lot of freedom given here to the player because aside from 2 to 3 items that the client usually wants, everything else is completely up to you. I think if you remodel a client's home, you might even actually be able to just give them a straight up rename of their lot theme and give them something completely different, which is fantastic. I've already seen so many cool builds in the in-game app, and folks have already been sharing their work online. Other tools the DLC gives you are things like lighting adjustments and soundscapes. These can help add to a build, especially if your client has a super thematic request like a construction site or jungle. You can also make smaller rooms within the bigger rooms because really you only have 1 or 2 rooms to work with during the DLC. Overall, I had a lot of fun with Happy Home Paradise, and had I spent $25 on this DLC, I would have felt it well spent. Do I have any grievances with the DLC? Not really. The only grievances I have are really small things. Things like due to how the houses and tiles in this game work, you will never have a lot that has the house perfectly lined up with the entrance. And things like for some reason, you cannot put wall decorations on wall partitions, leaving them looking so absolutely naked. You can't make them accented walls either, so if you're using one of the walls that have windows, you're gonna end up in a situation where your partition wall has a window. Aside from all that, this is a really solid DLC and a DLC that fits in perfectly well in the Animal Crossing ecosystem. If you've got 25 bucks to spare, 100% go for this DLC. I recommend it wholeheartedly. If your pants are even heavier and you'd like to lighten the load, get it for free with the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack for 50 bucks a year. If you don't care about N64, please do not go this route. Just buy it for $25. Well, this has been my review of Animal Crossing New Horizons 2.0 and the Happy Home Paradise DLC. Please let me know what you thought of my review. This is really my first review and I've never reviewed anything before, so I'd really like feedback and criticism on how things went and how much you enjoyed my video, since I know you loved my video. If you're still undecided and feel an answer might ease your worries, please plop your questions down below and I, or any other helpful Samaritan, will answer your inquiry. Also, let me know what you thought of the 2.0 update and DLC. Have you been loving it and playing it as much as I have? Perhaps more? Do tell. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like, subscribe, and that bell notification. It helps out, apparently. I'll see you Jerbears in the next video. Bye! Group stretches. That's something I forgot to mention. There are group stretches now that you can call upon and all of your villagers, well, some of them, most of them, and some of the special NPC villagers will join you for a group stretch, and you can also join using the Joy-Cons or buttons. So that's something I forgot to mention. Very important part of 2.0. Yeah, that's it. Bye.